Let's look at step 2. But before we go into step 2, every individual should learn to identify his or her current emotional state and how that affects their actions and behaviors. Actions and behaviors. Let me just give you a key. Your emotions affect your actions. Sometimes people do not see your emotions, but they see your actions and know the kind of emotions you have. And this thing is just a connection from your thoughts. Maybe as we progress, you see it. The way you think affects the way you feel. And that affects the way you act. So thoughts, feelings, and behavior are connected. If you try to correct a particular behavior, go to the thoughts and correct it. Then come back to the feeling and correct it. The behavior automatically will be corrected. Whether it is your life or the life of people. So sometimes people say, oh, I do this, I do that. I say, okay, what do you think about it? I want to know what you believe. Because if I cannot dispute that belief, I won't be able to correct the behavior. That's as a counselor. If you believe this fan should be like this, and then you want to move it, but you believe it should be like this, I have to, dispute that belief first before we can move the fan. Alright. It is good to know or be aware of which emotion is at work in your life at each point. So, look at me. As you are sitting down here now, which emotion is at work in you? Just think about yourself. Can you please stand up? Let's do a little exercise. Just stand. Just stand. Stretch your leg. Stand, stretch your leg. Okay. Then imagine yourself. Imagine you knowing what is going on inside of you. What emotion do you think is right there with you? You can sit down. Which emotion do you think is at work in you right now? Alright, let me show you a list of emotions. Then, maybe from this list, you should be able to pick one that you think is at work in you. Can I move on?
Yes, sir.
Alright, look at this list. We have confusion. We have sad. We have anger. We have strong emotion. We have happy emotion. We have energized emotion. Then under confusion, we have uncertainty. Being uncertain. We have been upset, doubtful, indecisive, perplexed, embarrassed, shy, hesitant, lost, unsure, pessimistic. So which one do you think? Just look at the list, look at the screen. This one I mentioned are under confusion. Then we have sad emotion, depressed, desperate, dejected, heavy, disgusted, upset, hateful, sorrowful, mournful, weepy, frustrated. I hope nobody is having this. No, sir. Alright, let's look at anger. Can we look at it together? Anger emotion. Annoyed, agitated, fed up, irritated, mad, resentful, disgusted, outraged, raging, livid, bitter. Do we have anybody there that experienced this? Yes. Alright. So if you experience this, just take note of it. Write it down. We are going to another segment which will enable you to dispute it, to counter it. Like I said, we are not just coming to share information, but you should be able to walk out of this place free from anger, free from bitterness, free from annoyance, free from anything that followed you to come. That's why you have to identify it. So I mean it, write it down somewhere, but you may not allow your friend, in case you're angry with your friend. Maybe the person that is making you annoyed is seated beside you. Just make sure he doesn't see it. Is that okay? Alright, let's look at the positive emotions. We have the strong emotions. The first one there is sure. That's being sure of something. Then being certain, unique, dynamic, tenacious, secure, empowered, ambitious, powerful, confident, bold. Who has that? Can I see your hand? Wow, that's interesting. Bold, confident. You can take the world. You can do it. This is the emotion that tells you you can do it. Hello, look at me. I want you to have this emotion, this strong emotion. That's the emotion that tells you you can move the mountain. Say, just go. Where is it? Where is that mountain? But don't go by your power, because it is not by power nor by might, but by the Spirit of the Lord. You can speak and say, thou mountain, you mountain standing before Choma, move. That is the emotion. So that scripture in Zechariah chapter 4, make use of this emotion. Sure, strong, confident. Do you know, it's not easy to command mountain. You read in the Bible that Joshua spoke and sun stood still. This is the emotion that was at work in him. Emotion, you fell. Not because anybody attacks you, but because what is inside of you is not strong enough to carry what you want to do. Do you get the point? Alright, then the next one is happy. Happy emotion. We have amused, delighted, glad, pleased, charmed, optimistic, content, joyful, enthusiastic, excited, marvelous. How many of you have this? Okay, only few. Are you not happy? Are you not excited? Alright, so then we have the last one. Energized emotion. And it is determined, being inspired. Have you seen somebody that is inspired before? Being inspired, being creative, being healthy, being renewed, being strengthened, motivated, focused. How many of you have this already? 1, 2, I'm counting now, I'm serious now. You want to get it? Okay, those that have it already, let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, a couple of you. Then those that want to have it, let me see your hand. Okay, that is a honest person. Two honest persons. Okay, 3. Okay. I didn't say those that raised their hand before were not honest. But I'm just saying that these ones are more honest. Alright, so you have it. As we progress, you see how you can cultivate these emotions. You can cultivate them. Alright, and that is the essence of this seminar. That you can cultivate this energized emotion. You can be inspired. You can be inspired. You can be motivated. Say, no, I'm not motivated. Why are you not motivated? You should be motivated. Alright. You can change your negative emotional state easily when it is identified than when it is not identified. You look at that? You can change your negative emotional state easily when it is identified. Connected to personality at times, but you don't let your personality limit you. There are people that are born with certain kinds of temperament. They are able to say anything, whether it is right or wrong. In fact, some of those people, the way they explain a wrong thing like this, somebody will start thinking, is this thing really wrong? Look at how this man is talking about it. Do you understand? But you that knows the right thing, why are you not saying it? Because you lack boldness. So you can get boldness to say that thing that is in your heart that you believe is good. At least to dispute the wrong ones that people are saying. Someone mounts a stage like this and say a completely wrong thing. But because he talks with boldness, many people are already believing it. You know, the weight of people's voice determine how people receive what the person is saying. Do you believe that? That it shouldn't be like that anyway, but that is what it is sometimes. That if somebody talk and scream and it's getting people's attention. People are looking at him like this. So wow, look at how this man, this thing must be true. It cannot be lie. This man cannot be lying. Look at how he talk. No, the man just has boldness. You that have the right thing, if you have boldness, you are going to be able to share that right ideas you have with people. So the idea you have may die with you if you do not have the boldness to execute it. Do you get the point? Yes. Many people die with potentials. Potentials are untapped or unused ability. Many people die with it. They never discover that they have the capability to do certain things. They never discover it until they die. Because they lack boldness. I used to say something. I said something. Well, maybe not too many times. I said, don't go to heaven and realize that all the thoughts that were in you, in your heart, were what God wanted you to implement. It's going to be very, very disappointing that you arrive heaven like this and then find out, by that time things will be clearer. Do you know? Yeah, things will be clearer. And then you appear there and realize that all those things you were thinking about, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that one, that those things were actually what God created you to do. And you were able to think about them. But the only thing is that you lack the confidence to implement them. I pray that won't happen to you. Amen. Because you'll be so disappointed and frustrated. It's a different thing entirely if you never knew. But the one that you knew, you had many confirmations. This is what I'm created to do. And you lack the boldness to implement it. Because nobody is supporting you. Nobody likes it. It doesn't make sense. It's a new thing. How many people know it? Just one person. It's just you. And a few persons understood it. So you stop doing it. Are you looking for a crowd to affirm or to confirm what God wants you to do? You may not see crowd. I can assure you. Instead, you may even see crowd that disputes that thing and says, no, it can't be God that say you should do this. No, now. So that thing in your heart, that you believe, probably you have gotten confirmation. Jesus said in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, a matter is established. You have already gotten like 2 witnesses. Maybe you've gotten up to 3. Maybe in God's mercy, He has extended the witnesses. And yet, you are still not willing to go and implement it. I'm advising you to go and implement that thing. Receive the boldness to implement it. At the end of the day, when all said and done, when all things are set, you appear before the Lord. You are going to answer question why you didn't do it. Probably that's why I'm telling you now. That you have to go and do it. Do that which is in your heart. Negative emotional state is not identified and changed. It may be overwhelming, destructive, and devastating. Do you know that? Yes. This is when some people consider taking their lives. Some people think of giving up on certain things because they have failed to identify the negative emotions in their life and change it. It becomes overwhelming. It becomes destructive. It becomes devastating. It can stop your plan. It can stop your purpose. So emotional issue is a very important issue. You don't play with it. So any negative emotion you are carrying, don't make excuse for it. If you are easily angered person, high temper, easily getting bitter, don't think that is how your life is supposed to be. That's not how your life is supposed to be. I'm not saying you can't get angry and move on, or you can't be bitter, but when that becomes your lifestyle, perpetual bitter person. When you become a perpetual bitter person, you should look for help. Alright. So how do you identify your true emotional state? Beyond what I've said so far, look at this. Observe the appropriateness of your behavior. How is your behavior? Is it appropriate? Remember I said that your emotion is connected to your behavior. Do you remember when I said that?
Yes, sir.
That your thoughts is connected to your feelings, that is emotions, and also connected to your behavior. So you look at the appropriateness of your behavior. If your behavior is not appropriate, it's a sign that you have inappropriate emotion. We are living in a society that likes blaming the devil for almost everything.
Yes, sir.
Satan, the devil, family. They want to kill me. They don't want me to prosper. Why not sit back and check what is wrong in the way you think? What could be wrong in your feelings? What could be wrong in your feelings? Because that's your problem. Is what is affecting your behavior. So observe your behavior. Then 2, listen to people's genuine complaints and remarks about you. I met someone, is it last month or so? The person's life, behavior wise, is not fine. It's not okay, she's not responsible, she doesn't take any instruction. And anybody that is advising her is her problem. If you tell her this is how to do this thing, she feels you don't like her, you don't love her. So everybody should allow her to be the way she wants to be. Is that good?
No, sir.
So pay attention to what people say. If they keep complaining about a particular thing, then that thing could be wrong. Do you understand? Anybody that comes around you is complaining of something about you. Mr. A came around you, the same complaint. Mr. B, the same complaint. Mr. C, Mrs. A, Mrs. D, all these people come around you and they keep noticing the same pattern in your life. Pay attention to it. Could it be connected to anything in my life? Do you get the point?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Then, the number 3 way you can identify your emotional state is to do a deep searching. What I call deep searching. You can do this if you are a Christian by praying this psalm. They call it Psalm 139. Verse 23 to 24. It says, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my anxieties, and see if there is any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." I'm encouraging you to write this down and be praying it for yourself. There are many things you may not think they are wrong in your life until God begins to show you. And I'm telling you nothing but the truth. You may not know that you are a stingy person until God opens your eyes and you see that you're a stingy person. You may not know that you are a bitter person unless God shows you. You may take it to be normal. Many people take things that are not normal to be normal. Do you understand? But when you present yourself to God and say, "Lord, search me. Is there any anxiety?" Anxiety is emotion. Do you understand? It's a fearful emotion. So you could pray and say, "Lord, do I have lust? Show it to me." When we say lust, we are not just referring to sexual lust. There is lust of the flesh. There is lust of the eyes. As you can lust for physical things. You can lust for money. You can see a good shoe and lust after it. It's just unusual desire that you have. So you can pray and say, Lord, what are these negative things inside of me? Show to me. I don't want to continue in them. Are you getting the point?
Yes, sir.
It's something you do frequently to keep yourself in check. I think I've said enough of that. It is unfortunate that many people do not like to identify their negative emotional states. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Many people do not like it. You see someone well depressed, he doesn't want to accept it. Someone is sad, he does not want to accept it. Are you sad? No, sir. No, I'm not sad. But you are sad. And you claim you are not sad. You are lying. That is living a fake life in the name of faith. Some people say they are having faith. Don't you know that faith is based on evidence? You don't know? Eh?
Yes, sir.
Faith is based on evidence. You say you are sad and you want to use faith to come out of sadness. First, acknowledge the fact that you are sad. Then have evidence. When you now apply faith, you come out of sadness. That's when you can appreciate faith. But if you never acknowledge that you are sad, then faith is not even working in your life. All those things you try, are you sick? Are you feeling unwell? No, sir. But meanwhile, right inside of you, you need a medical attention. No, I'm not sick. You are trying to walk by faith, I understand you. But you are actually walking or living in pretense. I agree if you say, yes, I'm not feeling fine. I'm feeling unwell. Then you now apply faith. You say, but I'm healed. Jesus is going to heal me. God is going to heal me. I'm going to be fine. That's a different thing than the one you act like a superman, like you never fall sick. You deceive people. Somebody is wishing to be like you. Say, this man has never fallen sick because you've been hiding it. If you are taking injection, you close door and you fight the person, one quack person like that. They'll come to your house and be choking you. You are on drip, you hide it. Nobody knows. So that when you come out, you sound like you never taken anything. You can even have the boldness to say it because you don't fear God. How do I know? The Bible says that he gets angry. God gets angry. Events of life make him angry. There's a time he regretted that he created man. Say, why did I create man? See what they are doing. He regretted it, and that regret is emotion. Do you understand? And it's a negative one. But it doesn't live like that. It doesn't stay on it. So it switches. This is the situation. This is what is creating it. So he manifests it. You don't act like you are a super being. If God can get angry, then I believe you, once in a while, you should. Because of what is happening around you. Do you get the point?
Yes, sir.
But I'm not saying you have to remain in it. Okay. That you are not a Christian does not mean you cannot have. Okay, so I think I've explained that. But see this. Emotion is not a function of a particular religion or a church denomination. It is a function of the responses we give to the events of life and the way we think. So emotion is the response. It's a result of how we respond to events of life. It's how we respond to the things that happen around us and how we think about those things. That's what creates either positive or negative emotion. It's not a function of where you are coming from. Alright. Negative events are likely to create negative emotions. Vice versa, depending on our responses and thoughts toward the event. For some of you that are counselors, you notice that someone may actually discuss something that is devastating, but then the emotion of the person is still very strong. Sometimes it calls for question mark. It calls for questioning. You are telling someone a deadly thing, a heartbreaking event, but then you are still very excited talking about it. That's why we observe the body language. We try to match it with what you are saying. Why should you be that strong telling this kind of story? You know, there are some stories that even if you tell it 10 years later, it breaks your heart. But what happens when you are telling that story and you are just smiling? Alright. So we are going to do a little test of ourselves now. What would you do if your very close friend, maybe a spouse or a spouse to be, is not answering your call? Sorry for that wrong spelling. Is not answering your call for 5 days. You've been calling consistently. This is a practical thing now. You've been calling consistently for 5 days. And this person that you love, and the person claims to love you, and both of you are close, is not answering your call. The first day, the second day, the third day, the fourth day, and the fifth day. What would you do? Alright, so I need Victoria, Jacinta. I saw your hand. Okay. Okay, somebody? Alright. You have a question? Concerning this? Concerning the question I asked? Okay, just to clarify. Okay, give her the man, let's get the clarity.
Something condition. So, sincerely speaking, at first, when this kind of situation comes my way, I'll be angry. Firstly, yes, I'll be kind of sad. Why is this person not picking, and possibly might be seeing the calls or thereabouts. But and I might just with some time I will overlook it, and that will be that for that. But after such incidents for some time happened, on some occasions, at the time I needed to work on my mind. Yeah. So when I worked on my mind, recently another one happened of the same incident. So what I did was I actually tested the person. Yes, I tested, and that was it. And after some days, I still called back.
Okay, you texted the person.
Yes.
And after some days,
I still called back.
You called back, okay.
Yes, and with even calling back, he still didn't pick.
Okay, aside from the action,
yeah.
What was your emotion?
How
did you feel?
I wasn't happy.
Is the feeling that I'm actually looking?
Okay, yes, at first I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy and I was.
You wasn't happy?
Yes.
Alright, it's okay. Thank you. Distract ourselves. Let's not distract ourselves. Alright.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'll also do it very practical.
Okay.
The one I'm experiencing and my kid brother, we discussed about something before I came to school. So when I got to school, I was like, okay, let me try and call him to know how he's faring. So now I called and called and called. He was not picking. I was very disturbed at first, and the second time I was very angry. Why this boy?
Okay, disturbed and angry.
And the last one, I now called another person to check on him to know what is actually wrong with him.
Okay. So you took a positive action.
The opportunity.
Okay.
And in such a case, I'll be perplexed.
Perplexed, okay.
Yes, sir. Because I don't really know what will be happening to that person at that very time, during that period. Could be that the person is not close to his or her phone. Could be that the phone was stolen. Could be that anything must have happened, so I'm perplexed.
Alright, thank you. Okay. The
anxiety somehow because
okay, will be an anxious.
Okay.
Okay.
Somewhere I used to talking to, like we normally say good morning to each other in the morning, maybe through WhatsApp or message, and you called and called and called and nothing is no response yet. You so try if at every 2 seconds, 5 minutes you want to call again. You see, you become so anxious, and with time you feel like, oh, this person has been on WhatsApp today, boy, I've never bothered to say hi. Apart from you are confused or disturbed about what might be going on, you feel bad in your mind.
You feel bad.
Yeah.
This is very. If your suitor broke up with you after 2 years of engagement, hello, do you understand the question? Someone that has engaged you and wants to marry you, but after 2 years of engagement, the person broke up. How would you feel? Okay. After now, the next slide is going to explain all these answers to us. Okay.
Alright, good day everybody. Concerning the question, someone who I have been engaged with for 2 years.
Wow.
All of a sudden, we broke up.
Yes.
as my first point of reasoning would be, what could have caused this?
Okay.
And I will now, in that reasoning, when I have ascertained this, I will look at who would have been at fault here, more at fault.
Okay.
And if I ascertain that I have done everything within my capacity, to fulfill all the conditions necessary to make this thing work before God and man, and still it's not working, meaning that the fault would have come from the other party.
Not necessarily, but go ahead.
However, I would feel relieved.
You feel relieved.
And,
Wow.
on the other hand,
Is it that you feel relieved?
if on the other hand,
It's okay.
I consider it and I think that I have really contributed, to this thing.
Yes.
That is, if I have, made more effort or done something differently, it
Yes.
wouldn't have been so. Meaning that it's my fault.
Yeah.
In that case, I will go every mile to make sure that it comes back.
What if another person is already married?
Well, if someone is married, there's nothing more you can do about it. You just
Okay, so you convert yourself.
comfort yourself.
Alright. Thank you so much. So he spoke in two angles. The first one is if the fault is from him, he will walk. Or the second one, if the fault is from him, he will try to fix it. That is if it is possible. Because some women will say, I will come back. I won't come back. I can't endure this. Marriage is a lifetime. There are things you see and you decide never to waste or to spend your life with this person just for a single thing that you saw. As a human being, you should be able to do that. Just observe one thing. Say, no, if this thing is like this, I can't still for a lifetime. It's not 1 year, it's not 2, not 10. Till death do you part. So he may come back and cry and you refuse. Alright. Next.
First of all, I'm going to feel depressed because
Okay.
I feel
that's
there are
honest
other people that would have seek to marry me, and then I let them go all because of him. So for a period of a week or more, I'm not going to go out even to eat. The appetite would have gone. And then secondly, I'll feel maybe it's God's will. Something would have happened.
That's secondly now.
Yeah.
After depressed.
I won't go out for 1 week, and I'm not sure.
You mourn for the relationship.
No, that's just being real. I'll be so sad.
Okay.
That's just.
Alright. So after the period of sadness, we now come back to things with the will of God. But I suspect it may take more than a week to actually come back. Maybe coming back to think maybe it was the will of God would be if another man better than that first one come to marry you, you now go to church and give testimony that it was the will of God. Okay, let's hear.
Alright. Okay, if I'm in this particular shoe, knowing that breakfast is national cake, and it's not marriage, it's engagement. So I feel at first, for you to be in a relationship for 2 years, you invested your time, your energy, your money, and a lot of things. So definitely I will feel bad about it. I will feel bad at first. Then after feeling bad, it will take me 1 day, highest 2 days. And if the lady did not, or the girl or the lady did not give you benefit of doubt after you begged, and
So you should open up to someone that you are sure is going to marry you, so that the heart will remain with the person. You don't have any need to take it back. Okay, someone is asking by the side. Another question. I will answer you. How do you know? How do I know? Don't worry. You don't just go into engagement. You don't be engaged anyhow. You are saying something. 2 years is too long. People have you heard of 19 years? Hello? It's okay. It's okay. Have you heard of 10 years of engagement? Hello? Have you heard of 15 years? I won't tell you there were at least a couple of 15 years, I know. A couple of 15 years, I know. They were 15 years before they married. Then I know the one of 10 years. All these two, I attended their wedding. 10 years of engagement. Hello? The one of 15 years are still married, but the one of 10 years, after 6 months of marriage, they divorced. Wow. But they were in relationship for 10. I'm not kidding. You know, sometimes when you come to campus, when you come to school, and you start relationship in year 1, before you graduate, the relationship has reached 4 years, and you go for saving. Someone is saying plus ASU strike. So if you now add ASU strike to it, so 5 years, then NYSC now at the 6 years. These 6 years, you are talking every day with this person. Do you get the point? After 6 years, the guy said, now before you marry, you have to, you have to also, you have to find something to do, And the guy start hustling, and his people start advising him, don't bring in a woman until you establish business, until you have a car and build your house. So before this guy is trying to put up things to marry you, how many years now? Do the calculation. Now, when you got admission, did UNN tell you, or any other institution, did the institution tell you that once you reach final year, that you must have somebody?
Your parents.
Is it a requirement for graduation? Hello? Did your parents say you should not come back home unless you have somebody? Maybe they say, okay, the last person, let's give him a chance. Let's listen to him, then we move on.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
What I would just say is that I will feel disappointed.
Feel disappointed? Yes, that is honest.
Because there are a lot of emotion invested
on both
parties, but the level of disappointment will be x-rayed more on the person that invested more, or the relationship meant something more.
Okay.
Yeah, like you said that guys, just 2 days they will get over it, but ladies.
Well, maybe not all the guys.
Yeah, but
not all.
The responses will x-ray and value the relationship more.
Okay. So based on that thing he said, you remember the wisdom of Solomon? The first wisdom he displayed, the dead child and the living child. Yeah. He said, okay, let's divide the child that was alive. He said that to know the true mother. And the one that stole the child said, let's divide. And then the one that was the mother of the child said, please, instead give the child to her. Instead of dividing, let the child be alive. Then Solomon now knew that that person is who? The mother of the child. So I like what he said, that it depends on who invested more in that relationship. Alright, thank you very much for the honest answer. But let's see 2 sisters in this my illustration. 2 sisters. Sister A friend not answering calls for 2 days. This is sister. Some of you have this response of sister A. Why some of you have the one of sister B? But let's look at it. I want you to pay attention and learn something. Sister A experience of a friend not answering call for 2 days. What is the thoughts or beliefs of this sister A? This sister believed that his friend has despised her. So in her heart, she said, this my friend has despised me. He doesn't love me anymore. I have offended him. As you may say, maybe I have offended him. He doesn't want to pick my call. Is it because of that thing that I did that day? Okay, I know why. He said I should kiss him and I refused. So he's now not picking my call. Oh, I wish I would have kissed him. You know, some people would think like that. Don't think like that. So believe. Do you see the point? So you feel sad. It's not really because the person did not answer your call. It is because of what you believe about the person's action. Remember I said events of life create emotion. But it's a response to events of life that actually creates emotion. How you respond determines what you get. Alright, let's look at Sister B. Now, the same problem, Sister B also experienced it. But the Sister B decided to have a different kinds of thoughts. What's the thought of Sister B? She said, maybe he has a low battery. You see, that's just her belief. He's not answering my call for 5 days. Maybe he has a low battery. What's the next thought? Maybe he's very busy. You know he's a busy guy, he does this one, he does that one. And maybe he's busy. The next one is, it may be that he is not with his phone. Someone said something like that. You. I think you are the Sister B. Yeah, she's the Sister B. Now let's look at the emotion or emotional state of this sister that thought like this. Look at, she is healthy. Can you look at her? She's not healthy. She's confident. She's bold. She's lively. That means the event that of God did not affect her own emotion. Because of what? The thought pattern that she has towards that event. Do you get the point? Yes. So what makes you feel sad is not what happened, but what you think about what happened. I don't even mind saying that even if you were raped, it's not that rape that is making you sad. It is the thoughts that you have that is making you sad. That's it. Let's move on. The second issue. A suitor broke up. This is Sister A now. Suitor broke up with her after 2 years of engagement. What's her thought? I am worthless. That's Sister A. No other man will marry me. I will not be able to love any other man. Men are wicked. Men are what? Okay. When you guys responded, is there any sister that sounded like this? Is there anybody that had this same thought pattern? Okay, let's look at the emotion. The emotion is that this sister is what? Sad, bitter, rejection, setting, depression setting, she's resentful, she's upset, she's annoyed. What is causing this annoyance? Her thoughts, her belief. Alright, let's look at Sister B. Another man will come and marry me when it is time. Now, let's look at the emotion. What's the emotion? She's happy. She's optimistic. She's joyful. She's strengthened. She's empowered. And she is inspired. So why do you kill yourself for something you do not have control over? Hello? I want all of you to be like Sister B. When something happens to you, don't kill yourself over something you do not have control. Did you invite that man to come into your life? Why are you worried when he's leaving? Well, for guys, I understand that they are the ones that brought, they carry themselves to the girl. Maybe some of them, Okay, the girl asked. Well, we still have them now. Yes, they watch American movies. She's asking, what if the girl is the one that asked? Yeah, it happens. But I'm advising you, just hold your peace. You are going to regret what you see. Men do not like what appears to be cheap. But that doesn't mean you have to now be doing a man like this. If you want to say no, say no. If you want to say yes, say yes. But I'm just telling you that if you follow a man, instead of a man following you, you are already setting up yourself for trouble. If that man marries you, you'll be nothing. After all, I didn't need you. I was on my own. You came. Carry yourself. You'll be working tirelessly to make that relationship work. That's the truth. You'll be the one. You'll be the engine room. You'll be the one controlling everything. You be careful when you want to make up. You really like it. Because you don't want to do anything that offends him. If he says today, you are going to sleep upside down. You know, you put your leg on this ceiling and then you do it. Because you are willing to make him happy so that you can keep the relationship. So please, ladies, don't start what you know you cannot finish. Don't put up yourself. You know how many ladies do this thing? They may not say, come, let's hang out. But they display it. And guys are always sensitive to notice a lady that is making advances, that is showing love. They come for that one. But when they come and get you, they are going to be treating you like chaff. You mean nothing. So all those side stuff you do, I've heard some people telling young people when they love a guy, they should give a sign. I'm telling you opposite of that thing. Yes, I've heard people, all these people that talk on relationship, they say, sir, if you like a guy, what do you do? They say you have to give the guy a sign. I'm telling you the exact opposite. If you love a guy, don't give any sign. I'm just warning you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You know this topic is not relationship. I'm warning you. Alright, so move on. Let your life not be controlled by what happened. Learn to be in control of events. Don't let events control you. The man came and left. Let him go. Wait for another. You say, sir, the first one came and left. The second one. Let them keep coming. One will stay. What else do I tell you? You say, sir, five have gone already. Don't worry. The sixth or the seventh one will stay. Yes, it doesn't matter. If maybe the 15th one is the one that stays, it's a big testimony. You tell people that 15 men came, 14 men came, is the 15th one that married you. Don't you think it's a good thing? To be honest, don't die unnecessarily. Don't get depressed. Esther, if the man leaves, allow him to go. Don't be depressed, don't be sad. Don't mourn for that relationship. Go and eat. Go and eat, please.
Take yourself out.
Don't give me 1 week to sadness. What if you die within that 1 week? I'm serious. So you wanted to be revived after 1 week, but then you die in the process.
Go to hell.
Of course, you heard that someone committed suicide because of breakup. You heard it before. Alright, so it's a serious thing. Alright, let's move on. Proverbs 12:25 says, anxiety in a man's heart weighs him down. Do you see it? But a good word makes him glad. So don't be weighed down. No wonder the Bible says we should not be anxious for anything. Don't be anxious for nothing. In everything with prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, make your request known to who? God. Then it says that the peace that passes all understanding shall guard your heart. So don't let anxieties dwell in you because it weighs you down. Anytime you are anxious, do something. Jesus said, come unto me, you that are weary and are heavy laden, for I will give you rest. Learn to come to Jesus when you are anxious, instead of running away from Him. Okay. Then a joyful heart makes a cheerful face. But when the heart is sad, the spirit is broken. Do you notice this? That when the heart is sad, the spirit is broken. Have you seen someone that prays very well when he is sad? Prays very well when he is sad. What about the one that reads Bible very well when he is sad? Eh? He doesn't have strength. What happened? Look at this. When the heart is sad, the spirit is broken. So what happened to your soul affects your spirit. You know, feeling is a component of the soul. Do you get that? So what happened to it affects your spirit. When you get angry, it is in the soul, but it affects your spirit. Have you heard of the scripture that says, grieve not the Holy Spirit?
Yes.
Eh? Grieve not the Holy Spirit. That means the Spirit of God in you can be grieved, can be sad, can feel bad because of what your soul is experiencing. This is why you have to be careful. Say, a joyful heart makes a cheerful face. You look the way you think. You get that?
Yes, sir.
You look the way you think. If you are looking sad, it's a sign that something is bothering you. Most times, we counselors, we talk, people may think that we are saying vision. I'm not saying Holy Spirit don't talk to us, but most times we just look at you and predict something and suggest that something is wrong. Even though there are some people that look like they were born sad. I mean, they are just sad naturally. It doesn't connect to anything. They look so tough. Nothing make them laugh. If you like laugh, they will just bull and be looking at you like this. Well, I think that is a problem on its own. Because you're supposed to laugh when you need to laugh. You get it? Alright. So before we get to step 2, which is ability to manage another person's emotion, we are going to go for a break. You know, remember I told you that emotional intelligence is divided into 2. Your own part and others. So I believe we have discussed the parts that concern you as a person. When we come back, we are going to focus on other people's life. How do you observe?